Hi, welcome to Wellness. I am your host, Linda Lonergan, Senior Clinical Nutritionist. I am here to show you the very best your community has to offer in health, fitness, nutrition, and well-being. Today I am joined by someone who is a holistic productivity coach, Lisa Zawrotny. Welcome, Lisa.
Hi, Linda. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Can you tell me what a holistic productivity coach is and how this all got started?
Absolutely. I think I'll start with the story of how I got started, and it'll help you understand
Great.
how I became what I do today. It all started actually just after I was a caregiver for my mom. I moved her into our home to care for her when I was pregnant with my first child, and she had Alzheimer's. And it's still difficult to tell this story, but it's so important because it is a critical part of who I am and why I'm even here today. So I can see now how it was all meant to be.
Sure.
I cared for her for a number of years. I had my son and my daughter, and I was in a unique sandwich caregiver situation that was extremely isolating and extremely challenging.
I can't imagine.
And it was complete overwhelm, and I was in what I call survival mode. So I let go of as much as possible, non-essentials and even some essentials. And so when I no longer had to care for her and I took stock of my life, I was overwhelmed by chaos and clutter. It was just everywhere. I was not well physically. My health had diminished, which happens with caregivers. And I also just had so much physical clutter around me. And I wasn't sure what to do, so I started taking steps to clear my path. And I cleared it emotionally by starting to take care of myself and embracing self-care and having a greater understanding of my world, listening to thought leaders and, practicing gratitude and meditating and, doing what I could for me, and then physically clearing a space in my home. I learned so much about what matters in life. When you experience sickness and death, you change. It's a profound change in you.
Absolutely.
And so once I did this for my home, myself, my family, and I saw how healing it was, I knew I had to do this for others. So I actually became a professional organizer to begin with. This is a very tangible way to clear a space. You know how you feel when you clean out a closet or a drawer or clear
Very
your
much
desk,
so.
right?
Sure.
And
you get a great feeling.
Yeah. And so I began with that, but I realized early on that there was such an emotional and psychological connection to what was going on. That stuff that we have, it's not really about the stuff. Yeah. It's something way deeper. And so I got my certification as a life coach. And I do have certification in time management as well. And I really wanted to blend them all, the mental and the physical, to help people clear a space, to make space for what matters in their life. So that's why I consider myself a holistic productivity coach.
It sounds like you've taken unsurmountable and very challenging situations and turned it into something very positive that came out of this wonderful thing that you do. Can you give me a story that, in terms of your success and working in what you do?
Absolutely. I have many different clients and I have so many stories and they're varied, but it occurred to me that what my clients have in common is that they're multi-passionate, they're multitaskers in a big way, and they're frequently also caregivers, nurturers. They really want to give something to the world and to so many others around them, but sometimes they struggle with overwhelm, which I think is as much having too much to deal with as well as not knowing what to do next. And I think they appreciate my idea of productivity is being more and living more, not doing more. And so when you create that space, again, I talk a lot about decluttering, about clearing space. That's, I think, where the magic happens, where you can really live and shine your light in this world and do what you're meant to do. And so one client I have in mind, she wanted to create a wellness center. And how amazing is that? But there was a lot of overwhelm in that excitement. She, so much to think about, also trying to take care of her family and work, do all the things.
Right.
And when I came in to work with her, she said, I calmed her storm.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
yes, which
I like that.
I love that phrase, and
Yeah.
I keep that close to my heart because that's what I want to do. I want to bring simplicity to people. And if you and your viewers can take one thing away from today, that would be when you are feeling overwhelmed, look to how you can subtract from your life, not add.
Very good.
So
Very, very good. That's interesting. I know with I just saw it firsthand because I had a prior guest and she had to put together what she was going to share.
yes,
And you stepped in right away and you took something that was somewhat overwhelming and put it together very simply to calm her, and you are quite talented.
thank you.
You really are. So do you have a favorite quote?
Oh, I do, yes. And it's hard because there are many, many good ones, but the one that's a philosophy and a mantra is that you are allowed to be a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously. That's from Sophia Bush.
Wonderful.
And I love
No,
that,
that's great.
right? Because it encourages us to cherish and celebrate who we are in this moment. So even if right now you are feeling overwhelmed in any way, you can cherish what you've accomplished and then also look to what you want to do.
So I am just a quick one. I have an attic that is over and then some.
Yes.
So what are like a couple of tips you would recommend for me to start?
Well, in any space that you have, and this can be mental or physical, but we'll talk about an attic, a closet,
Right.
a garage. These are all very common, right?
Sure.
The first thing that you want to understand is that you need to sort what you have. You're not stepping in and organizing and making sense of it as is. You need to bring it out in order to look at it objectively. And it's not a bad idea to have someone help. It doesn't have to be a professional.
Right.
It can be a friend, any kind of accountability buddy.
Sure.
Right? Bring it out and start to sort it. When you
Okay.
put things like with like together, that's a phrase organizers use a lot. Set everything up and take a look at it. And then start with, we also like to use the term low-hanging fruit, something really easy. You may find things in there that you're like, I had this, a bowling ball, I don't even bowl, it's like, or this is
I
junk,
like that.
I have garbage
Sure.
right here. Well, how did garbage get in? The craziest things happen. There's no rhyme or reason, but it happens to all of us. So go ahead and remove those simple items and then take stock of what you have. And you may be surprised. You may find that in a particular category, frequently it's books for me, how many you have. And when you have that full amount, you can make better, more informed decisions about what it is you truly need to keep and what you can maybe pass on and bless someone else with.
That is so helpful. I love that what you said, low-hanging fruit.
Yes.
So that is the easiest, simplest to just move out of the way.
Absolutely.
So it becomes less overwhelming.
Yes.
That's extremely helpful. It really is. Do you have a favorite book, Lisa?
Yeah, it's Essentialism by Greg McKeown. And his concept is, in a nutshell, less but better. I love, there's an image in the book itself that's a circle with all of these arrows pointing out. And I think it represents what we go through in everyday life. Life is pulling us in many different directions, right?
It sure
all these
is.
obligations and all these things that we want to do and, all the demands. I think life is very noisy and very demanding. And that is the image that represents how you're being pulled in different directions. And essentialism is the path to bringing yourself back together, finding that calm and going in one direction, or at least a general direction. You can do multiple things, but you want that energy all to fit together and work together.
That appears extremely helpful. And you're doing something very special that you're just doing because you're paying it forward and you're the amazing person you are. And it's a gratitude series. Can you share with my viewers what that is?
I would be delighted to share that. It is the Positively Grateful series. And last year, around the time that you and I are talking, I had this idea that I wanted to share gratitude with others. And as a coach, I'm able to teach and to guide and encourage and help them understand how important gratitude is in our life. And it was extremely healing for me, so I wanted to share it. And I just decided to do it, even though I didn't know how it was going to fit in. What I've discovered now is it's a power habit that is so strong. And so I have a free coaching series year-round, and we're going to do something extremely special this November to celebrate its anniversary. And I would love everyone to join in.
I think that's truly amazing, because especially during the holidays, I know I have patients that are going through have excessive cancers or autoimmune disorders, and with the holiday, to be able to have a vehicle that you're sharing and providing to just make them feel more cheerful and happier, and just and learn some very valuable techniques to try to make the most of every day that they can.
Absolutely. It's a profound idea that gratitude can come even when you're devastated, and even when you have, a hard moment in life, and that you can have both, and it can be very healing.
No, I can. I walk my dog every morning and give gratitude of all that's given to me. That's good.
Wonderful.
We have a couple of minutes left. Is there anything last you'd like to share with my viewers?
Just one step at a time. This is all habit-based, what we create. We talked about that low-hanging fruit. You can do this. And it's simply about taking stock of what you have, asking for help, and subtracting, not adding. That's what I would leave them with. Simplify.
And your gratitude series starts when?
Well, they can join now and come into the group and be welcomed and get ready. And we're going to do some very special things in November, some special stories from others and a new workbook. And I have a bunch of surprises.
I look forward to it, because I really need to get at that attic. And I have to tell you, what you've shared with me is very helpful. And I love the low-hanging fruit. I have to start there. I really do.
Let's make it easy. Life's hard enough.
Thank you so much for being here and sharing with my viewers. What you do is so vital and so important, so helpful.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Remember, when you eat well, select great food, and feel well, it's something you want to do for the rest of your life. Be well and eat well. Remember, moderation and balance are key. Thank you. Have a great night.